Disclosure, what we're going to be talking about has to do with bodies, surgeries, scarring, and things to help heal and overcome illnesses.
I would like to warn also that the scars may contain a little bit of blood during the healing process, so please be warned about that.
Hello, and welcome to Kitty Gemma. Hi. Say hello,
Yes,
Kitty.
hello. Hello, everyone.
So today we are talking about basic information about ACE protocol, which is like 2D thingies and other things, and Kitty knows a lot about it. So you're ready to share, and I'll like dodge out of the way of different places.
Okay then. Well, we'll start off with the first slide, which is what is an ACE? Okay, yeah, you can go all the way over there. And if I move myself over here, that is a photo of Kitty's ACE tube, along with the button buddy. But we will talk about the button buddies in a little bit. So an ACE, or the full name, which is, I literally cannot pronounce it because it's literally that complicated, the full name. It's literally a small tube that is inserted into your intestines. But there are different types of tubes, and this will literally depend if you still have your appendix. Since my appendix got removed a couple of years ago because it was going to burst, I have the G-type tube.
And chi type tube, like Korean chi, and you're like.
Unfortunately, it's not that. But if I move my head there, that is a G type tube. Just over there, that little one there. But this surgery is rare in kids, but it is very rare in adults. And since Kitty is an adult, it is very rare for me to have this. But because the surgery is that rare, it is rarely talked about online. I have done some research online, and there is hardly any videos about it. There's only like a website that just explains what it is, and that's it. And it's a little bit disappointed that nobody speaks about this.
So it's just a surgery. Is there any other, like, what's the surgery for? What does it do?
So the surgery is literally, it's where they do place a tube inside. But if you have any bowel problems, it's literally for those that do have bowel problems. If you have problems going, that's literally that is what the surgery is mainly for. But we'll be talking about the surgery a little bit more.
Okay, so it's for people with gastrointestinal issues that...
Yeah, especially if you've been diagnosed with IBS. So, what does an ACE do? Well, the ACE is where you'll be placing warm water inside the tube, and that little thing above me is literally what you use to attach the tube to. The amount of water differs from person to person, but I currently use 150 ml of warm water a day. After placing the water inside, it can take as little as 10 minutes or as long as a couple of hours for a bowel movement to happen. This is to prevent straining and to provide better bowel moves from those who suffer from constipation or any other gastrointestinal issues.
So like the amount of water, is that like dependent on what you eat and like what's in your system?
It can depend. I have noticed the more water I drink, the less water I have to place inside. So I do have to remind myself to keep myself hydrated to avoid
waterlog yourself and just I'm doing this for science.
Yeah, I'm doing this for the sake of my body. Unfortunately, cold water does not work. Boiling hot water, I'm advised to not use boiling hot water because that can burn the tissue inside, and the cold water can just it just does not work.
So that's lukewarm water.
Lukewarm water.
Do you do like distilled, or is there or does it not matter if you have like hard water?
Honestly, where Kitty lives, my tap water is pretty much safe. So I can do that. But if you do live in a place where your water is not always safe, then I do recommend distilled water. Here we go. Yeah, right. So these are tubes that I have had. So As you can see towards the left, that is the first tube that got inserted to me on surgery. So that is like the stage 1 tube, the beginner tube. And
Okay.
then after roughly 8 to 10 weeks, you will go on to stage 2, the permanent tube, which is currently the tube that Kitty has and that I'm currently wearing right now. So the surgery tube is, as you can see, it's very different to the stage 2 tube. It's longer. It's got 2 areas, and there is tape to hold it down. If anybody else goes for this, you might have a different tube. It literally depends on if you got your appendix still in. It depends on if you're a kid, because I've heard if you're a kid, you might get a different tube compared to being an adult, because you're still growing, so you might outgrow the tube. So what I got here is an ACE flush, which is you must do a flush every day at the same time, and the flush is literally placing warm water inside the tube.
If you'd like to click on the links but don't want to type it in, it's down in the description down there. Good luck.
Problems that can occur. So unfortunately, there are downsides of having the ACE surgery, and there are problems that can occur as soon as you get the surgery, which is bleeding from the tube, infections, which unfortunately I got 2 infections from the tube, which landed me in hospital plenty of times.
Ugh.
And unfortunately, the tube can reject the water going in. I've had the tube reject the water, I think, once. But after contacting my nurses, they told me to pretty much go down and see them, and we were able to sort that out quickly.
So when you say rejecting water, does that mean like it spurts out or like?
So what happens is sometimes your tube can get clogged up, where water will not go in at all, and it can be clogged up with blood or infections.
Got it.
Yeah, what we had to do like a special flush where we had to get like proper boiling water that was like cooled down, and then we had to like really, really push it in just to get rid of it. It was not good. It was a little bit uncomfortable, but I'm glad that I was able to like turn it into a clean tube. Unfortunately, bleeding from the tube, I've had that once for some reason. I was checking my tube before stream, and then unfortunately it was bleeding, and as soon as I started the stream, I literally said, Yankos, I'm so sorry, but I gotta go to A&E. I've just spoken to my doctors and there's blood coming out of the tube.
I could never be a doctor.
You know, like it's fine though. But there's 2 links there that pretty much explain my problem / how my recovery was going. It was not great. It took an extra 2 months to recover than usual due to the problems. But at least I'm okay now as we're speaking. Kitty's fully fine.
And how has it been so far?
Honestly, except for all those problems there, it's actually been great. I've been able to cut down on my medication so much.
Yes.
And I'm just happy that, you know, I do have a tiny tube, but I can still do day-to-day activities. I can still get up. I can still shower. I can exercise. I can eat.
So it doesn't restrict your movement or any like exercise or like doing squats or like.
No, I can still do my daily 30 to 50 squats. I can still lift weights. I can exercise, go for a run, walks with the dog. I can still go to work. I can still bend down, lift heavy items, cook. I can pretty much do anything with this. And depending on your tube, you might need a buddy buddy. Buddy buddies will catch any leakage or discharge that the ACE might do. You can get them in different sizes, made out of different materials, and even order custom ones. So all of these button buddies here are custom ordered. It's a mixture of cotton and bamboo, And the best part about them is that they're reusable. So after a day, I will take it off, replace it with a new one, and I can either hand wash it in the sink or I can place it in the little washing basket that we have, and then they'll get placed into the washing machine
Nice.
and they'll just air dry. So these button buddies, as you can see, they come in a pack of 3. And the cost, including postage, is roughly £14 to £15, which is honestly not too bad.
And is this covered under like your health insurance or not health? You're in Britain, right?
NHS, unfortunately, no, they cannot provide me money for button buddies, but they are able to provide money for me to purchase my tubes, because the ACE tubes, they can cost anywhere between £150 to £200 per tube. So they purchase them for me, so Kitty is saving money by doing that.
I have no idea what the American healthcare system is like when it comes to this.
Very expensive.
Probably.
Okay. Right, so changing the tube. So tubes will last for roughly 6 months before they have to get changed. I highly recommend you to have at least 2 spare tubes in case you need to change it early. You can order tubes online or through your Snowman nurse team, which is what I did. So pretty much when I'm down to my last tube, I will contact them and just say that I need my tube ordering. And they will ask me if I want the same size, which is 14F times 3 centimeters.
So you change your own tube?
Yep. And there is a little video down there, just next to our cells. And just want to warn you that it does contain open wounds, since the surgery is pretty much opening like a small part of, I don't know, it's like opening a little bit of myself in order to put the tube in. So
it's like opening your mouth, but for your colon.
It's kind of like I have like a miniature mouth.
Like nom nom nom, only for me water, or else you're gonna die.
Yeah. So that's just So that link there is just a little tutorial of how to change my ACE tubes. I had to change it early because unfortunately I somehow broke the lid area of the tube for some reason. Yeah, it snapped somehow. I don't know how I did it. It just snapped, and I was like, oh, I should contact my nurses. And they said, yeah, change the tube immediately. We'll make sure you get a spare one sent out. Now, before I go on to the next slide, I forgot to add about this, but your G-tube size will literally depend on your height and weight. They put me on a 4 centimeter tube to start off with, but unfortunately that was too big for me because I am a small person and I've been described by doctors and nurses to have a slender figure. So because of that,
is like the best way to like be told that like, oh girl, you're looking good. Let's get you on the 2 centimeter colon, you know?
Yeah. So they measured me again with like a little tube measurer, and they decided to go down to 3 centimeters, which is kind of like a child size. So I kind of feel like a child.
It's like, I never lost my baby colon, so.
It didn't grow up. That's why I got a tube inside of me.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I have to change the tubes on my own. I used to have it where I think for the first time the nurse showed me, and this was back in January where the nurses showed me how it was done. But now that the nurses have showed me, I just have to do it on my own, and you only have to do it twice a year, unless I somehow break the lid again, which I hope I don't. So inside your tube, you will have a balloon, and
like a hot air balloon.
Something like that. So at the bottom of the ACE is a little balloon that you fill up with water. And this is so that it holds it in place. This is so that the tube does not fall out. And the water must be changed roughly once a week. Since my tube is 3 centimeters, I only need 4 ml of water. And if you go back to the previous slide, that is also, the link also shows you about the balloon as well, about how to change the balloon in with the tube. I only found out in January though that I had to change it once a week. Before January, I think I only changed the water once because nobody told me. And when I changed it, oh no, the water, the color was not good.
Wait, so there's the tube that goes into your ingestions, and then there's the balloon that makes it so that the tube is there? Is that?
Yeah, so at the bottom of the tube is a little balloon that you blow up with water. If it's clear, that's okay. If it's yellow, that's also fine. If it's brown, that's fine. That's just literally just pieces of your colon, unfortunately, getting into the tube. That's also fine. If it's red, call an ambulance.
That's like
straight away.
it's like the worst version of Mario Party ever. It's like clear, yellow, brown, red. Rush you to the hospital.
Yeah, red is a sign that your colon is bleeding. Who do I recommend an ACE to? If you've been diagnosed with long-term constipation, especially if it's IBS type C, then I would recommend it to you. Anybody who also got recommended stoma, I dislike stomas. I only see stomas as a last resort
like a stoner,
option.
like someone who's like selling you drugs.
So a stoma, and there's different types where it's like they move your colon over to where you do your bowel movement inside the bag. Yeah, I know. I got recommended a stoma over 10 years ago, and I told my other doctors, and they said, no, Gemma, that is way too extreme for someone who is a young adult.
So they like literally just like, ow, you don't need your colon, here's a bag.
They normally give stomas out to people who have also have bowel cancer, if it's like at stage 4. But they do also recommend stomas to people who have like really bad constipation here in the NHS. But honestly, if you've got like really bad bowel problems like myself, please see if you can get an ACE first, because it's less extreme, it's a lot less hassle to manage, and the smell, like you will hardly not smell anything with an ACE compared to a stoma. Yeah, and that's also one of the reasons why I went private, is because they kept recommending me a stoma. So I was like, all right, I'll go private. It took 3 years, because I did get tests done as well. But they said that perhaps an ACE would be the better thing to do, and here I am with an ACE instead of a stoma. Has the ACE worked? And as you can see, yes, it has worked so much. I can do a bowel movement almost every single day thanks to this thing. I'm still taking laxatives every single day, but it has gone down over by 90%. I used to take like 4 different laxatives in pills, liquid sachets, but now I'm only taking like 3 pills or laxatives a day, which is such an improvement from someone who used to take like triple that a couple of years ago. Who knew that putting water into my intestines would help my bowel issue? Because I used to be on bowel washout kits. I have had 3 different types of bowel washout kits, and while they do work when I first tried them out, unfortunately, after time, they sadly stopped working because I think my body was slowly starting to get dependent on them. But so far with the ACE, it's actually worked, because the thing is with the ACE, I'm pushing the water like into the top area of the colon, while for rush out, you're pushing it into like the exit of the colon, which I can see why I think it was stopped working after some time for me. Do also recommend when it comes to laxatives, please try to use laxatives as a last resort because your body will get dependent on them over time. It's a shame that I have been on laxatives ever since I was literally a baby. I have literally been on laxatives like all my life, and it is truly a shame that they could not give me an ACE when I was a child. Because if they gave me an ACE when I was a child, then possibly I would not be in like a worse state of my bowel, if you understand me, possibly.
Yeah.
I am shocked that hardly any doctors or nurses know what an ACE is. It took 10 different nurses until a doctor literally came by to see me and said, "Oh, I know what an ACE is. I'll be able to help out with your issue." I'm like, "Oh, thank you. Someone who knows what my surgery is all about." So it is part of the stoma family, which is why most of the stoma nurses know basic information about an ACE. However, there are only a small amount of stoma nurses who have been trained about what an ACE is. I have to go to the next town if I have any issues with my ACE, because there is no stoma nurses in my town who know what an ACE is, unfortunately. And it's because the ACE surgery is rare, I think that's why I understand why there's not many stoma nurses who know what an ACE is or have been trained about it, which is it's really a shame. I hope that one day we can create maybe an ACE awareness day, or maybe an ACE awareness month.
There's like,
that would be a great idea.
Just like an ACE attorney, like, objection.
Oh
no
yeah,
stoma for you.
Yeah, just go to court and just like present my case.
What's the ACE attorney's name? I forget.
Phoenix Wright?
Phoenix Wright. Like, I'm Phoenix Colon.
I will present my case.
For why you need an ACE. If you leave a comment in the description, I don't know how to answer those comments, so go follow Kitty on all of her social media feeds, and then you can ask Kitty directly.
Pretty much, it's Miss Kitty Gemma on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. I have made, I think, at least 3 videos about my ACE now, / how is recovery going, but I'm mainly planning to make like a main big one.
A mega one.
Yeah, a mega one, which will hopefully be at least 10 minutes long, and it will go into a little bit more detail about the ACE. I am going to warn you, though, that the video that I'm going to make it's going to be graphic, it's going to show surgery bruise, it's going to show scarring, it's going to show blood, and I also am going to warn you, Yankos, that the ACE videos that I have made on my YouTube channel, those also contain warnings, scarring, blood, wounds, etc. So if you are squeamish to them, please do not click on my videos.
Well, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you, Kitty, for being here, and goodbye.
Bye, guys. Thanks for stopping by.